Hi, welcome. Kaylee Elise here with Sacred Self Mastery. So today I'm coming on here as a chat and we're going to talk about some lessons that I've learned in 2023. It's the end of the year. We're about to step into 2024. I don't even know where this year went. If you're like me, it's like every year has just been going by faster and faster. It's been pretty crazy. This year was if you're into numerology, year 7 for all of us. And this is a big spiritual year where we learn a lot of lessons. And over the last 3 years, since 2020, it's just been crazy. If you've been on this spiritual journey, I'm sure if you're even not on the spiritual journey, you've gone through a lot of ups and downs over the last 3 years. And there's just so much that has happened and so much changing within us, outside of us, a lot of systems breaking down. So I'm sure there's a lot of things that you have learned over the years, especially the last 3 years, if you really think about it. And I just wanted to share some of the big lessons that I've been through this year that have helped me get ready for this new year. And I'm really excited to share it with y'all. So the first lesson that I have is there is no such thing as failure, only lessons. And our biggest flex is to stay persistent and never give up. So many of us, we are on this path of going towards our dreams, going towards our desired reality, whatever it is that we want in this life. And if something doesn't go right and it doesn't work right away, we don't get success right away, it doesn't work out for us, we get um, distracted and we lose interest and we're like, oh, okay, if it didn't work, then I guess it's not meant for me. But really what's happening when we come across these roadblocks or if things seem hard when you're going towards your path is we're asking to be at a certain level when we're asking for a desired reality. And we have to go through these lessons in order to be that person that we want to be in that desired reality. So, of course, we go through things that might seem like failures and like signs to give up, but really it's just roadblocks for us to learn to be like, oh, that didn't work. Let me pivot. So, it's just the universe showing us, yes, keep going, but try something different. Do something different, whatever it is. So, the biggest thing that we can do is never give up on ourselves and never really say anything's a failure. Like, say that you're a business owner and you have a launch that flops. This isn't a failure. This is a learning lesson. What happened from that? Did it feel good? How was your energy? Checking in with your body, your mind, your soul. Is everything aligned? And probably not, because it didn't happen the way that you wanted it to. But there's a lesson to be learned in that. And that's what's really beautiful when you're able to change the perspective of, oh, I'm failing, it's not working, I'm going to quit, rather than being in the energy of, ooh, okay, cool, it didn't work out this time. What can I do differently to make it even better? So it's all a perspective twist. And a lot of us get stuck in our own stories and narratives like, oh, it's not working, I should just give up. This is just a sign from the universe that it's not meant to be, when reality is like the universe is just trying to make it even better than we can even picture in our mind. So biggest thing, never give up. Like, if you're going towards your dreams, just keep going, keep going, keep going. And I promise you, through those quote unquote failures or the things that don't work out the way that you want it to, you're going to become stronger. You're going to gain the tools and the wisdom to be even better on the top than you can even imagine. So that's one of the biggest things, is just never giving up on yourself. And that's one of the things I really value about myself, is how I'm so persistent. Like, no matter what I go through, my mom's passing, I'm like, okay, I'm going to, grieve. I'm going to go through this and I'm going to become even stronger and take with whatever lessons that are coming from this to step even deeper into my power. We have a choice on how we look at things. We can either be like, oh, this is horrible, my life is ruined, or what's the bigger lesson here? Can I zoom out and see how this is working for me rather than against me? And I think that's such a big, important tool to have on you, and to like an attribute that is very looked up to, because it's like no matter what, you're going to keep going. And if you're in that energy, your success is inevitable. Like you are going to reach your goals no matter what, if you're in that persistence, no matter what happens. And then the next year, last year, I went through an abortion, which took up 6 months of my life, where I was physically, mentally, emotionally, energetically going through it. And I'm not like, oh, universe, like, how dare you do this to me? I'm able to zoom out and be like, oh, I went through this for a bigger purpose, because what I'm going towards, I need this life lesson. I need this experience to be in the position where I'm trying to go, if that makes sense. So it's all about a perspective twist, and just being in that energy of like, I believe in myself, I can do this. And no matter what roadblock comes up, I can get through it. Yeah, I think that's really, really powerful. So number 2, leaning deeper into grief, heavy emotions that seem hard to look at, opens up our pleasure and joy portal even more. So if you have been following me, it's like a broken record. This is something that is so, so important to me right now, because I'm just seeing more and more that we need to go through the grief. We need to go through the heavy emotions in order to experience happiness and joy. It's so interesting to me. Like, we want this happiness and joy, and what we end up doing is like pushing away grief, pushing away sadness, when reality, that is the portal to our happiness, is to look within and look at those heavy and hard things to look at that are inside of us, the grief, the sadness, the anger, the sacred rage, whatever it is that you've gone through and you're holding within. It is so important for us to look at those aspects of ourselves, so that we're able to experience the pleasure and the joy on the other side. We can only experience the polarity of what we've already experienced. So if you're not letting yourself go deep into the quote unquote bad emotions, I don't even want to call them that. They're not bad or good. They're just energy in motion. So if you think of emotions, they're just moving through us. We are not our emotions. It's literally energy moving through us. And we have a choice whether we hold on to it and we're like, oh, I don't want to look at it. It's just going to be stored in my body somewhere, and then cause like stagnant energy to create dis-ease in my body. Or we're able to move through it and alchemize that energy. Energy never dies. We can transmute it and alchemize it into whatever we want. And when you have tools and understanding that you can turn grief and anger and alchemize it into love, like, that is magic right there. And that is your magic within that you can activate at any time. You just have to believe that you can, which you can. And it's sad because our society does us a disservice, because it teaches us that if you're sad, numb out, go drink with friends, celebrate when you're sad. And it's just like all these coping mechanisms, like take this pill, put this band-aid on, don't feel it, numb out, don't look at it. And that is not going to bring us to our freedom. It's not going to help us step into our power. It's only when we're able to look within and be like, ooh, this is really heavy, this is deep, like we're able to soften deeper into that, and it's beautiful. And when we allow ourselves to do it, it seems hard at first, but once you do it, it is so freeing and it feels so good. So if you are avoiding anything that feels hard, just know that once you do that, you're going to open up the portal to pleasure even more when you allow yourself to go deep within. And I think this is really, really important exploration and work for people, especially people that are trying to evolve and go towards their dreams and feel free and happy. Because when we're just carrying around the grief and the heavy emotions within, they're within us. They're not going anywhere, and they're actually getting bigger, and they're affecting ways how we're interacting with the world, with our loved ones, and so on. So let yourself grieve, schedule time to grieve. Let yourself feel the sadness, the anger. use tools to help you alchemize and transmute it in a healthy way. Breath work, movement, yoga, moving your body, dance therapy, like somatic healing, EFT tapping. There's so many tools out there that are there for you to utilize and help you deal with this heavy energy in a healthy way so that you're able to open that joy and pleasure portal even more. I'm telling you, this is right here. If you just take this one, magic, magic. Okay, number 3, being in integrity is number 1 for me. I'm here to spread love, not judgment or fear. This year alone, I have seen so many coaches and so many people just come about things in a way that just brings fear and judgment towards people. And it is like, oh, it's put a bad taste in my mouth, because I'm like, if you're, first of all, if you're a coach or someone, like, you're here to empower people. We're not here to put people down. And if we're judging other people, we're just like continuing the the cycle of the abuse. Like, not only if we're judging others, we're just judging ourselves, because we're only treating other people how we're treating ourselves. Like, straight up, this is mirror theory. This is projection theory. Like, everyone's just projecting their own stuff on everyone else. So if you're, first of all, judging other people for what they're doing in their life and what they're deciding to do with their life, you're only judging yourself. This is not open energy. This is closed off energy. And in life, we want to be open. We want to be open to receive. We want to be open to create whatever we want to create. And when we're closed off from opportunities, we're closed off from money, whatever it is that we're trying to call in. So I am such a big advocate on non-judgment and love, not dictating people through fear. And I see that all over. It's in our news, it's in advertising. People like, oh, let me put the pain points for people to come into fear. Like, if you don't do this course, you're gonna die, or you're gonna lose all your money, or something like that. And for me, like, that feels so icky, and it's really sad because it works. People are so in fear. There's so many people that are out of trust and just kind of living their life dictated by the fear. And this works for people. And it's really, really sad. For me, all I want to do in life is empower you and make you feel strong and make you feel loved, because the biggest thing I believe is love and acceptance is the biggest healers, because that's what's wrong with the world. A lot of us, most of us, don't love and accept ourselves, so we're spreading that to everyone else. And that's why there's this division. That's why there's this hate. That's where there's this war. It's like, we're not accepting ourselves, we're not loving ourselves, and we're rippling that outward. So being in integrity and spreading love and non-judgmental is number 1 to me. No coming from fear. And I even got blocked by this big influencer online, because if you've been following me, you know that I got an abortion, and she is this big person in the coaching industry, and she wrote the most horrible things shaming women about having abortions. And that, for me, is where I draw the line. Like, how dare you, like, come at people who have made this decision? There's 1 in 3 women who have made this decision, and you're literally putting people down because you're trying to create polarity in your business to gain people. Well, guess what? That person lost all of her clients that have had an abortion. How is that helpful? You're putting people down, you're putting people in a fear state, you're dividing people, and you're not uplifting people. You're not making them feel, you're just like fueling the fire of like, yeah, the people that hate abortion, come with me. And it's like, that does not feel right. That does not feel integrity. That does not feel in alignment with anyone's truth. And so for me, that was a big, big lesson for me, is like, I am always going to stand in integrity, and I'm always going to promote love and acceptance, no matter what. I don't care what you've done in your past. Of course, like, if you're not coming from integrity and you're like, want to murder someone, I'm not going to be like, yeah, Speed, that's your truth, because it's not your truth. Like, I'm talking about people who are in their integrity and in their truth. Like, do what you need to do. If you need to have an abortion, if you don't want to have a kid, if you want to have a kid, like, whatever. If you're a Republican, if you're a Democrat, like, do you, as long as you're not spreading hate and you're not like putting your stuff on anyone else and this is your truth, go for it. So that's my biggest thing, is like not to lead people through judgment or fear rather than love and acceptance. And I think that is so big. And that's something that really, really just like sunk in this year, especially with all that stuff coming in my face about abortion and people judging and all of that, because yeah, not gonna have it. not in this energy. All right. So number 4, this kind of leads into what I was just talking about, is always standing in my truth. I will always stand in my truth. I will always speak my truth, no matter if other people shame me, because it's not about me. And this kind of goes along with my abortion story. On my YouTube channel, I have an abortion talk and I put that out. And of course, it's triggering for people. Abortion is a huge topic, and I'm comfortable with myself. I love myself. I know that I went through this abortion for a higher purpose. I know this is my calling. I know I'm supposed to help people with this. And I have an open throat. I have an activated throat and an open heart. And this is triggering for people because this is what people want. People want to speak their truth and people want to have an open heart, and most of us do not. And so when people see somebody who is activated, it is triggering for them. I had a lot of, interesting enough, men comment on my abortion story, telling me that I'm a murderer, telling me that I'm a shameless killer. Guess what? Sending love to these people. I do not hate you. I know it has nothing to do with me because I am strong. I know my truth. I've healed through this on every level: energetic, emotional, spiritual, mental, physical. And I am very confident in my choices and what I've done here on earth and what I continue to do. And if you have shame, if you're trying to cast shame on me, it's not going to work because I've cleared that energy. And the only shame that you're bringing on is on yourself, because you're just basically projecting, like I was talking about, projection, mirror theory. So for me, this is so important. Like, no matter what anyone says, like, this is the biggest thing why people don't want to speak their truth, is because we feel like we're going to be judged. We feel like we're going to be cast out of society. And of course, that stuff came up at first because I'm human. And I was able to work through it and be like, this is just fear of like being cast out of society, like this fear that all of us have within, because we're social creatures. Like, as humans, we're meant to be in a community and thrive together. So for me, it's just, no matter what anyone says, I'm going to speak my truth. I am going to share my story, no matter how many people try to cast shame on me. And because, again, it's not about me. Like, anyone trying to judge me or throw comments at me, that is them and their reality and what they're going through. And if you have a strong embodiment and a strong foundation within, which I do have, no external force can knock you down. And that is strong. And that's one of my lessons, and we'll get deeper into that as well. But I think it's so important to think about and see where you're at. Like, am I people pleasing? Am I only saying things that I think people will like? Am I speaking my full truth? Do I have an open heart? Do I feel safe to share myself? Am I open for comment? Am I able to stand in my truth if people throw judgment at me? Questions to ask yourself so that you can gain awareness on, okay, this is something that I want to work on because I want to be able to speak my truth. I don't want to only people please. I don't only want to just say what I think other people will like, because that's not authentic. That's not me. That's putting on a mask, which I know very well. My whole life growing up, put on a mask. I was perfect at people pleasing because I'm an empath. I feel people's energy. And before I even knew it, I was like, I'm crazy. I'm feeling people's energy. I know exactly how to respond to them because I feel their energy with what I say. And I was perfect at like saying the right thing at the right time, because I'm like, this will please the audience. And that is not a good way to live. That does not feel good, because then you're like, who am I even? Like, who am I? Like, I have this mask on. Like, who am I? And that's a huge question, and something just to kind of gain awareness around. Your voice, your activation. And as women, there's so many of us who have witch wounds. I myself am healing so many soul wounds around being burned at the stake because I was a witch. And that being like, you're afraid to be in your truth because you will die. That is like the fear that a lot of us carry in our soul from past lives. So that's something definitely to look out for. And just giving yourself a lot of patience and love and gaining awareness on what is my truth? What do I want to say? And say it and see what happens. All right. So number 5, letting go of fear, stepping deeper into full embodied trust is freedom. Oh my gosh. So most of us, like I've been kind of saying, a lot of these kind of go hand in hand with together. But we can either run our life by either choosing to be led by fear or trust. And so many of us, because we're in scarcity, we have fear, we have experiences that have burned us in the past. We have beliefs that aren't really serving us, like limiting beliefs that aren't serving us. Like maybe you feel like you're not worthy, or maybe you feel unsafe because things happened in your childhood that made you feel unsafe about the world and you're not able to be in trust. But so many of us are just leading our life from fear. Our nervous systems are racked, and we're like, oh, well, I'm not going to have any money for this, so I better not trust that it's going to work out. And I need to work extra hours because, and it's like, this is all led by fear. Or like when we're about to go through a big growth thing or sign up for a course, and then all this fear comes up, and we're like, oh no, all the fear is coming up. I'm not going to do it. Guess what? The fear is going to come up the most when we're about to have that breakthrough. And that's where so many people give up, is like, oh, the fear is coming up so strong. Like the ego is so strong and so good at storytelling that we believe our ego mind that things are just going to crumble. We're going to end up homeless. Like the worst possible outcome is going to happen when we're about to experience a breakthrough. And we need to ask ourselves, is this coming from fear or is this coming from trust? And I say it like fear is the head and then trust is the heart. And so whenever I ask myself if something's coming up, like, am I getting ruled by fear right now, or am I coming from trust? And I ask myself, how can I bring myself back into trust? How can I bring myself back into my body and imagine the thoughts that are creating fear, bring them into the heart and transmute them to trust, full embodied trust, full embodied trust. How can I get into full embodied trust? And this is freedom. Fear feels icky. Worry feels icky. Scarcity feels icky. It's like, oh my God, it's not going to work out. Anxiety, my nervous system is crazy. Like, let's lead by fear because this is freaking me out. The scarcity, everything's going to fall apart. And you can see it's like, ah. When trust is like, you're in your body, you're grounded. Trust. No matter what happens, I know it's going to be okay. It's all good. I don't even have to think about it. I can let it go because it's already taken care of. Like you can feel the energy. It's so much more grounded. It feels so much more free, and you're not like crawling out of your skin, like getting farther away from the earth and that grounded energy. So, so important to just ask yourself every day, am I leading this life today through fear? Is this choice being dictated by fear, or is it trust? How can I keep bringing myself back into trust? And this is the key to life. We don't want to be ruled by fear. We want to be in full embodied trust. And it just feels good. That's what your soul wants. Bottom line, we do not want to be living a life from fear. And so many of us have like unhealed nervous systems. We can't handle challenges. We're kind of on the edge of our seat, waiting for the next bad thing to happen. And then we're manifesting more of that when we're in that energy, because what we focus on, that's what we create. So the more energy we're putting into the worry, the fear, we're manifesting the worry, the fear, and it's like this continuous cycle, and it doesn't feel good. But if you bring things in, like simple things to support your nervous system, to come back into trust, coming back into your body, doing yoga, doing breath work, EFT tapping. Like I said, there's so many amazing tools, sound healing. Like there's so many tools that can support you to relax your nervous system, come into a more grounded state, and come into trust. Because when we're in fear, we're in a reaction state. We're going to react to like emotions are either fight or flight mode because we're like, we have to react. And when we're grounded and when we're trust, we respond. And we respond and we're all calm, we're easy, we're able to problem solve, we're able to solve whatever issue it is and trust that we can handle whatever comes up. So that one's a really big one. Just every day ask yourself, am I coming from fear? Is this being rooted from fear? Or is this being rooted from deep embodied trust? How can I come back into deep embodied trust? Beautiful. All right, number 6. What you believe is what you will manifest. It's so important for us to check our beliefs, because our beliefs that we currently have right now is the reality that we're creating. So everything, you can look at everything that's happening in your life right now and get a good picture of what you believe. If you believe that you can't be successful and that you're going to struggle and life is going to be hard, guess what? That's probably where you're at in your life. You're probably struggling. You're probably like, ugh. And it's not your fault. This is just things that our belief systems get passed down from parents, our ancestors. Things just literally just fall into our lap. And it's our job to do the work within the inner exploration so that we can figure out what beliefs are serving us and what aren't, because we have a choice to let go of limiting beliefs. We have a choice to deepen the beliefs that are going to serve us and catapult us moving forward. So check in with your beliefs. What do you believe? Do you believe that you're not worthy to receive money? Do you believe that making money is hard? Do you believe that creating a successful business is hard? Do you believe that you have to work 24 hours a day in order to survive? And if that's what's happening in your reality, then that's probably what you believe. So it's so important for us to keep checking in with, what are my beliefs? Are these beliefs serving me? Are these beliefs limiting me from being in the reality that I want to be in? And that's just a really beautiful evaluation that you can do for yourself in order to support yourself in moving forward into the direction that you want to move forward into. Check your beliefs. And some of these beliefs are hidden. So it's really good to work with people who are amazing at finding the limiting beliefs, gaining awareness, because if we don't have awareness around it, they're going to always be there and we're not going to have the empowerment to change them because we don't have awareness that they're there. So I'm really amazing at finding the blocks for people and figuring out what it is that is stopping you. That's something that I specialize in. And I love that because I'm able to like create neutrality in any situations for myself so that I'm coming in with open energy and it's not attached energy. It's not pushing away energy. It's open energy to receive because I am completely neutral. Neutrality is freedom. I want to brush upon that a little bit. It's kind of like the Buddhists saying like attachment is suffering. It's the same thing. When we really want something, we like white knuckle it and we're like, oh, I really want this thing. I want this thing to happen. If it doesn't, I'm going to die. Guess what? We're stopping it from coming in when we're like white knuckling. And then there's the opposite. Like, I want it to happen, but I don't believe it's possible. I don't believe it's possible. And then we're pushing it away. But then when you're in neutral, you're in the middle, you're like, cool. I want you, but I don't need you. It's all good. And that is when the manifestations come through. It's so fun, right? Because as humans, we really just want to attach, we want to hold on, we want to have these beliefs. And in order to really get what we want, we need to let go and just trust that it's all working out. And it's hard for us humans. We want to control everything. So yeah, coming back to that lesson, check in with your beliefs. What is your belief? What beliefs are not serving you moving forward? All right, number 7, manifesting is your dream life isn't just about the doing. It's how you rest and how you're being and your energy really matters. We are so trained in the society. It's like hustle culture, do. And yes, there is sacred doing, there is inspired action. There are things that we definitely need to do in the physical world to create the manifestations, but it's not all doing. And so many of us are like, if I work more hours, if I do more, if I work harder, then it will happen. But guess what? That the doing is almost like a distraction, right? We're not able to just be in our body and be in the energy and create the energy that we want to manifest. We're doing, and it's like a distraction. We're not in our body. We're like, okay, what's next? What's next? What's next? What's next? And we're not ever coming into our body and coming into the being, how we rest, how we show up. Because if we already had what we were wanted, do you think we would be like working 12 or long days, 7 days a week? Like if we already had all that money that we're going towards, that's not how we would be operating, because most of us are working towards freedoms, time freedoms, more working less, enjoying life more, having more freedom to spend with family, to travel, whatever it is. We're not working and to just work, right? Just to do. Like that's tiring. That's how we burn out. That's why there's so many of us burning out, hustle. Like we just think, oh, if I do 12-hour days, then that's how I'm going to make my dreams come true. And yeah, that can work, but it doesn't feel good. It's not where you want to be. That's not the energy that you're creating. And then once you get to that success, you're used to working all that time and doing that you don't even know how to stop and be and create that success by just being. And so it's so important for us to check in with ourselves. Like, am I just doing and just being in like the hustle of like working 12 hours? I'm going to do this because of my dreams. Like that is not sustainable. What we want to do is create the energy of how we want to show up every day forever. Are we resting enough? Are we just being in that feminine energy of everything is good? Everything is already done. The manifestations are already here. I feel them. They're here. I am being that energy. I am in that vibration of everything already here, everything already taken care of, and it's all good. And the more that you're able to be in that feminine energy, the more that you just become magnetic to the vibration that you want to create, to the vibration that you're coming in. Because the how and the when are not our job. That's the universe's job. That's God's job to help us with the how it's going to come in and when it's going to come in. Our job is to create the vision. Our job is to create the vision and to be in the energy of it's already done, and let the intuitive hits, the inspired actions come in and follow those breadcrumbs little by little. Not to just do, just burn yourself out, go. So it's so important. Are you allowing yourself to be? Are you in the right energy for you? Asking yourself if you're into human design. Like for me, I'm a projector, and this was a huge deconditioning out of being a generator, because most people are generators with endless energy, and I don't. I work in a specific way. I need to rest, and then I have hits of like, go, like do things in like a couple hours in a day, and then rest for a week, and then get everything done in like a hit. So you need to just see what works for you. And you need to make sure that you're giving back to yourself and you're in that being and resting energy as well as the doing. It's there, this beautiful balance of both. All right, number 8. Embodiment is the most important piece to step into your dream reality. And this is the part that most people avoid. I know that if you've been in my sphere, you've heard of embodiment. I call myself a leadership embodiment mentor. What does that mean? It means this almost the same thing as what I was just talking about. It's the being. What are you embodying? What is your vibration? What is your energy? It goes in with beliefs as well. What do you believe about yourself? How are you showing up each day? Are you showing up each day, like waking up, checking your account and being like, oh, I don't have money? Or are you waking up with vision boards and imagining and visualizing the money already here? You already have all this money, you have all this freedom. How would you be showing up if you already had it? How would you feel in your body? What would you be thinking about? You'd probably be thinking, thank you, universe. Thank you, money. Thank you for supporting me. Are you thinking those things right now? Are you dressing as if you already have completed what you wanted to complete? Like, are you dressing as that future vision you have for yourself? Are you taking care of yourself like that future version of yourself? What self-care does that version of you do for themselves? How do they show up for themselves? How much free time do they have? How much fun are they having? How much pleasure are they enjoying? Like, these are the things that are the embodiment piece. So many people, like I said, get trapped up in like the doing, 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 doing. How are you being? How do you feel in your body? Are you able to get out of your mind and feel that full embodied trust in your body? This is so important. How can I get out of the mind and into my body? How can I embody the version of myself that already has everything that I'm going towards? Dressing, thinking, showing up, how you treat your relationships, how you show up online, what you say. Are you saying exactly everything that you want to say? Are you in alignment? Are you listening to your intuition? These are things that we need to ask ourselves in order to step into that full embodiment. Because when we're in full embodiment, full trust, full embodiment that everything's here is all taken care of, you feel amazing. You're like, it's already done. And then you become that vibration of it's already done and you attract it. And if it's not in your reality, it already, you have the embodiment. No external factor can knock you down because you're like, I already feel it. It's here. I don't need the proof because I feel it. I have this fulfillment that it's already here and that feels good. And then when it gets here, you're just like, oh yeah, I've already felt that it's here. Oh yeah, it's there. It's here already in the physical. Cool. I've already felt it in my body the whole time. And that's how we manifest. It's not like it just pops in our lap and we're like, yeah, it's here. Like, we embody it already being here. So by the time it comes in, we're like, oh yeah, cool. And it feels so good. Like, you can feel that energy of like, I want it, but I don't need it. It's all good. It's all happening. And then it comes better than we can even imagine. Embodiment is so important. So important. All right. Number 9, we're almost there. Letting go of expectations is freedom of how and when it will show up. So again, I'm kind of like talking about all these things and then kind of just like using them as a bullet point to go deeper because all these things really kind of go together. So many of us are holding on to the expectation of how things are going to show up, how we need them, how they're supposed to show up, right? Like, we're putting all this pressure on how it's supposed to show up, when it's supposed to show up, and we're blocking it from coming in an even better way when we do this. Because if we're like, if for my launch or for my business, it's like, it has to blow up right now. If you have this expectation of how it's supposed to be, the universe has a way more infinite, bigger plan than we can even imagine. So if we're trying to control how it's going to come up, we're blocking it from coming in an even better way. We're white knuckling it. It needs to show up this way when we live in an infinite universe and there's so many ways it can show up in an even better way than we can even imagine. So letting go of the expectations is, again, creating that neutrality. And that's exactly what I do in my spiral. Spiral dynamics is all about creating neutrality. What energy around this is blocking it from not showing up? Are you holding on to it? Are you expecting it to come up a certain way? This is going to block it from even coming in. So letting go of the expectations of how and when it will show up, how it's supposed to show up, is freedom. So just taking inventory on, am I expecting things to go a certain way, to show up a certain way? Let go of that, because the universe wants to show you, it wants to surprise you in an even better way. All right. And then number 10, my favorite, kind of what I talked about, love and acceptance of self is what we are really chasing in life. Like I said, so many of us are thinking that external things, if I have $1 million, I'll be happy. If I have a successful business, I'll be more confident. Guess what? People that don't work on themselves and bring love and acceptance within, you're going to be chasing external factors for your entire life, because all you really want, your soul is craving love and acceptance of all parts of self. And what happens is there's parts of ourselves like the grief, the heavy emotion, the shadow parts, things that have happened in our past, the shame that we're carrying around, the regret, the guilt. And we're literally like, nope, that part of me belongs under the rug. Nope, I'm not going to look at that. That just belongs right here in my body. And I'm not going to ever look at it again, even though it's affecting my life and it's not helping me move forward. When we love and accept ourselves, love is the highest vibration. It is the highest frequency in the world. When you're vibrating at that frequency, you can create any life that you want. You can become magnetic to whatever it is that you're calling in. It's when we're not loving and accepting parts of ourselves, we're holding on to that shame and that guilt and that regret. And that is the lowest frequency emotion, the shame and the guilt. If you can learn how to rewrite your story and transmute and alchemize the shame into love, you will experience way more freedom in your life. You will feel better. You will feel more confident moving through your life. You will trust yourself. You will believe in yourself. If you love and accept yourself, you believe in yourself. Your beliefs will change 100% in your favor. This is our biggest flex, is to come into love and acceptance of self. And so many of us are chasing these external things. These people that are chasing these external things, when they get to that goal that they're running towards, that they're hustling towards, that they're literally just doing, they don't experience the happiness that they think that they're going to experience, because this is not an external job. This is an internal exploration of bringing love and acceptance to all. And this is what's going to heal the world. We cannot heal the world focusing outside of ourselves. We cannot change anything outside of ourselves. We can only change what's within ourselves. And when we do that, we inspire others. We create a ripple effect. And that is how we change the world. Love and acceptance to all parts of self and to everyone. We're all humans. We're all trying in this world. We all want love. We all want acceptance. We all want to feel safe. We all want to feel free to do whatever we want. If we're all doing these things, why are we coming at each other? It's because we're battling ourselves. And when we're battling ourselves, when we're in war with ourselves, we start to create war with other people outside of ourselves, because we're projecting everything that we're doing within, we're going to do without. Our internal world creates our external world. So that's why it's so, so important to look within. Nothing is outside of ourselves. The answers that you're seeking are within you. The freedom that you're seeking is within you. The trust that you're seeking is within you. The love that you're seeking is within you. The acceptance that you're seeking is all within you. And we want other people to fill those holes. Maybe if I have a relationship or a husband or girlfriend or whatever, that person is going to make me feel more loved. Guess what? That person is not going to make you feel more love. Maybe a little bit, but the real person that's going to make you feel more love and acceptance is when you give that to yourself. And everything that we're searching for outside of ourselves, we're really just looking for those things that are in us. Mic drop. Yes. All right. Well, I've talked enough. These are my 10 lessons of 2023. We're coming into a year 8, which is all about abundance and receiving. If you have been doing the internal work, if you have been staying aligned, if you have been following your truth, if there is no more lessons, big lessons for you to learn because you've been learning the lessons and not bypassing the lessons as they come up, this year is going to be full of prosperity. And if not, then the lessons that we need to move through and learn through, they will come up this year. And we need to just be open to learning the lesson so that we can receive what's on the other side of that lesson. I have really big hopes for 2024. I'm really excited about it. And I have amazing offers. And I'm so excited if you decide to work with me this year to hold space for you and to help you quantum leap towards your goals. That's what I specialize in, is helping you quantum leap towards your goals, karate chop limiting beliefs, gaining awareness around them, karate chopping them out of your life so that you can live a life with freedom, believing that you are infinite and you can create whatever you want to in this life. You have the power to do that. All you have to do is believe and follow that intuition, strengthen that intuition, that soul voice, the heart's voice that wants to guide you. Sending you so much love. Big things are going to happen this year. And if you're like, I'm not even ready to start the new year, wherever you're at is perfect. This is actually not technically, this is the new year, but there's also the Chinese New Year, and more people feel like the new year starts in spring, which totally makes sense because we're in the dead of winter, which is still like hibernation, going within. So wherever you're at is perfect. Don't put pressure on yourself, but I just hope this helps. I hope listening to my lessons, you can grab a few nuggets and be like, oh, this is a good lesson. Maybe I will apply this. This resonates with me. Maybe I'll apply this more to my life in this new year or whatever. I would love to hear with which one stood out to you the most. Comment down below. Let me know. DM me on Instagram. Sacred_self-mastery. I would love to chat with you and see how 2023 was for you. If you have any similar lessons or anything that really stood out to you, love to hear from you. All right, I've talked enough. Sending you so much love. Make sure to check out the free resources and videos and EFT tappings that I have on my YouTube channel. And also, if you haven't yet, I have an amazing New Year Next Level Me free workbook guide journey. It's for the new year. It is a guidebook with 2 guided videos with a breath work and an EFT tapping to support you tapping it all into reality. It helps you get clear on what you want to call in 2024. It helps you let go of anything that is not serving you, that has not worked out in your life. And it helps you just create the vision that you are moving towards so that when you create that vision, you can get even closer and quantum leap towards that reality. I hope that it serves you. And yeah, I will see you soon.